Hey, it's Lydia Nitya Griffith with Karma Chameleon. Welcome. So I come to you with a heavy heart, and I am very careful with how sensitive this topic is. When war breaks out, when there is such conflict in our world. So this will be an interesting unpacking of what's happening with Israel, the Palestinians, Hamas, with great sensitivity and compassion. I deliver this to you. Let's pause here. On this channel, I often cover the astrology of celebrities and famous people to better understand our own lives and our own charts. And I also talk about feng shui. If this speaks to you, please like and follow. Thank you and welcome. Horror is in our world right now. And we will throughout this video pause because these pauses are important. It's important to feel into what we're feeling, especially as I am filming this on the edge of the eclipse, this Libra eclipse moon, and shaking the tail of the eclipse season from last spring. I don't know how it rattled your personal world, but it shook the hell out of mine. And I am feeling it all today. Thank you again. Now, if any of this feels inaccurate, I welcome a healthy dialogue with you, but I do ask that you keep things neutral. Let's not increase this heightened rage in our world, okay? So I'm going to get into their charts in a minute, but I also want to pause and look at where we are right now, you and me, okay? Hi. And I am talking to you like you and I are sitting at a kitchen table anywhere on this planet having a cup of coffee or tea. So, what is happening? On the Gaza Strip, in Israel, in Russia, in Ukraine, with the fires in Argentina. If you pull back the big picture view, it looks like a world on fire, a crisis. It's a pressure cooker. It's a pressure cooker of oppression, and we see this in America right now with a lot of people on strike and people demanding justice. And I talked about that in my Flying Stars Feng Shui for October. This is a month of justice, of rising up. Oppression is like having somebody's foot on your back. And after a while, the impetus in our nature is to rise up and save ourselves. If nothing else, we are an animal. We are built to survive. It is tragic when our life, our sovereignty, is pushed to the point where we have to act to save ourselves. And we all have a truth. And we all have a history, a story that we're telling, whether as an individual, a family, an office, a school, a city, a country, a world. And I can tell you, you sit at a family gathering on the holidays and somebody brings up a memory, and I guarantee somebody is going to say they remember it differently. No, it didn't happen like that. It was like this. Emphatic. That is their truth. You've got a different one. It boggles my mind that we aren't able to say, okay, how do you think it happened? Wow, all right. And I did that with my brothers once. And in asking questions, being curious and open, I learned more about a really horrible story, an event that happened, than if I had just put up the wall of, you're not mirroring or agreeing with my version. Instead, I said, oh, wow, that I did not know. Your story is so different. Tell me about it. And then I had more of a full picture. I feel like the world is full of sticks of dynamite and we're all walking around with lighters. That's what came to my mind today. And so, how do we walk together towards a more peaceful world, a more agreeable world, a world that's compassionate, caring, kind even? Yeah. How does violence ever serve us? In anything. You know, in yoga, the number one teaching, and this is true in all faiths, in all philosophies, the number one rule of life is do no harm in thought, word, and action. And I live carefully by that. And I think to myself, what happens if individually we begin with just that? How can you and I be more kind? I don't know you, but you are my brother or sister. You are my friend. And I have not even met you. And that's how I try to treat everyone. Even if you're shitty to me, which I hope you won't be, because no one is deserving of that. And yet, our world is upside down right now, and it is not going to get any prettier. Now, the rabbit that we're sitting in with this little year, if you ask me, this rabbit, and I've noticed this in recent years, that our annual animal is not behaving in its normal character, but rather, and I find this fascinating, taking its qualities and spinning it around. For instance, if the rabbit is all about negotiation, all about finding peace and accord and working together, if anything, we have been shown this year how that can be challenged. Personally, collectively. I retreated That was my response to the first 8 months of this year, or 7 months. I retreated to save myself. I retreated. I no longer felt safe in the places that I used to be for my mental health. And this is what's playing out. These 2 million plus people living in this tiny strip of land. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe for me, I will never be in politics or work in government because it makes no sense to me. Give them the land. What's this tiny strip of land that they're all packed onto? I don't understand. Why can't they just be given the land? But again, I don't know. That's not for me to know. Or maybe it's not for me to understand. It's not my world. It's not my, yeah. So that's my simple, naive thought. But I'm not getting into the details of this attack. But what I will get into the details of in this video, and please stick with it to the end. And again, your gentle, kind comments and questions are always welcome. I am all up for a healthy, positive, compassionate, empathic dialogue with you. Peace, my friend, begins in here. Peace begins here. So, I find this interesting. And I'll try to remember to put the link to the video I did about Ukraine and Russia so that you can also reflect back on that one. Israel's birthday is May 14th, 1948 at 16 o'clock. Pay careful attention. The year, Yang Earth Rat. The month of Yin Fire Snake. The day of Yin Earth Pig. The hour of Yang Water Monkey. They are nearing, very interesting, the end, the last year. They are heading into the last year of this current luck cycle, which is suggestive that in this coming year, it will be a very transformative time for Israel. Their life pillar, which I always think of as your kind of the hidden back pocket of information influencing a chart, Yang Fire Dragon. Fascinating that is their back pocket. That is rocket fuel of power. Yeah, I see the dragon and I think power, leader. The fire is so action. Now, I'm going to break down some careful pieces here. And I am staying, as I do with presidential elections, with all of these kinds of very contentious readings, neutral. And like I said, I really know very little about, world history in relation to these seemingly endless wars. If I do the chart of Palestine, their birthday, as I have found it, is November 15th, 1988 at 00:48, which means around midnight. These charts are both 2 Yang, which as nations, if you want to call them nations, as countries, They are, you want yang, I would think. You want that impetus of strength. Now, for Israel, you might have noticed that the month and the hour are snake and monkey, which do not get along. I don't like to see conflict inside of a chart. This chart has multiple. It sets the stage for a person or a country to be plagued with problems. For instance, if you're, like in the instance of Palestine, if you have your day and your year are embattled, and I've seen this with people, it's like you're never right with yourself. You're like a level of indecisiveness and internal disharmony is just a constant. And we can honestly say, knowing astrology as we do, that astrology is a snapshot. The moment of birth seals, much like the roof on a house seals the feng shui, flying stars for that house until the next roof or next major renovation. It's its birth. And it seals in your karmic journey. I remember, I've done charts where people have, this hasn't happened often, thankfully, but this one woman I'll never forget burst into tears because I think she was hoping I was going to give her the great ticket to paradise, to reassure her that life was going to get better. No. Some of us come in with hard lessons. Some of these countries are born plagued with problems, and Israel is unfortunately one of them. That Sushen, all you need to do is add in a tiger. That was last year, which shows this stuff was bubbling up. And this is conflict. Conflict shows up in all kinds of things. War being one of them. So if you look internally at their chart, you see that between the month and the hour, and then there's also that the snake and the pig, their day pillar, is also in conflict. It's this embattled, it feels embattled. That's what it feels like to me. And it feels like this risk to safety and a risk to their sovereignty, as if the need to constantly defend themselves is there. In 2023, this year, we have, as well as the day of this attack, the rabbit, and they are born in the year of the rat. And so this speaks to me, this punishment or penalty between the rat and the rabbit that I've spoke of a lot this year, feels like a hidden enemy. This is a hidden enemy. So the day of the attack, definitely there is a hidden enemy in the chart of Israel. It's in the day. It's in the hour and it's in the year. So that moment of attack, hidden enemy, comes to fruition, manifests. Okay. All right. So then, still digging down in here, The other piece about this day of attack is that their hour, which for me, when I look at these things, it's really about the people of a nation, shows up more for me in the hour. And when we're looking at this, it's the monkey, and then you have the month, because the month hadn't changed yet. October began on the 8th. So this was still the month of the rooster. And the month of the rooster really was speaking of action. And I spoke a lot in the video I posted about the flying stars of September, that September was the most dangerous month of the year. That fight between the rabbit and the rooster. And it would be a time of rising up, speaking out, being heard. I can't take this anymore. Revolutions, walkouts, strikes, almost a government shutdown. All of these things. It is a world embattled. And so it's interesting that at the end of the month, this fever pitch breaks open. So you take the rooster and the dog and the monkey in their chart, and you've got a big surge, a huge surge of metal in the Israeli chart. This is a call to action, a huge call to action. They are an earth element, a yin earth element like sand. And so this call to action, this metal, puts them into that role. Also interesting, their element of being in control is very strong. In fact, let's talk about that. They are an earth element. That's the element ruling Israel, yin earth. That's strong. I would say good, very strong at 35%. Fire, what nourishes them, 25%, which is great. They're very weak in metal, only 8%. Water, which they control, is strong at about 30%. Wood, what controls them? Excuse me, weak at 3%. So at this time, when you look in their chart, they already have a water trio. And then they have a full water trio also in their chart with their life pillar of the dragon combined with the monkey and the rat. So they've already got this inherent flow of support and resource. And now, October 6th, call to action. This current luck cycle is wood and water, which is really highlighting their sovereignty, their rulership, their duties to each other as a nation. And resources coming in from different places. For instance, money coming from the United States or other countries that are supporting them. Even things like the investments that they're making, there is this stream of revenue. And there is this sense of sovereignty of, from 2015 until 2025. And I will say in 2025, this new cycle that they're going to be moving into is going to be one of what feels like, if I'm intuiting, a radical shift in their identity. And it will be 10 years of that. So this is not, I am not seeing a peaceful restoration of Israel, no matter how long this war plays out. This challenge to who they are as Israel is going to play out for the next 10 years. And next year being a dragon year, I see this as being more about their duty to re-identifying themselves as Israel. Who are we as a people? And the violent action, the action that needs to take place. Again, you know, it's like we're all trying to save ourselves, but it's like the action that's required, which feels violent. Now we move over to what's happening in Palestine, this little tiny strip of land in Gaza. They also are nearing the end of a luck cycle, though theirs is going to change in 2026, if there's anything left. I don't know. Interesting that Palestine is born in the year of a Yang Earth dragon, the month of Yang Water Pig, the day of Yang Wood Dog, and the hour of Yang Wood Rat. Again, both of these are very strong Yang entities, and already I see that again, another embattled country. This one is different though. This one, you know, where with Israel, it's more the challenges, the punishment of continual conflict is from outside. For Palestine, it's internal. It's between the year and the day. Day of the dog, year of the dragon. Next year, year of the dragon is a direct hit to the sovereignty of the Palestinians. This is not headed in a positive direction at all for these people. And again, I see you as a brother or sister. I see all people as my brothers and sisters. I draw no lines with that. And yeah, they have an enormous amount of water in their chart. 45%. Their own wood self strong at 36%, a trace amount of fire. Balanced in earth, hardly any metal. So in some ways, they're kind of elementally speaking, what nourishes them is strong, what they are is strong, what they control is strong or balanced. But they both are lacking in the element that allows them to take action. And they both are limited in their ability to rule. You know, there's that strength of the ruler in both of their charts. So with this situation, what it feels like to me, it's very interesting. The first thing that came to my mind is 45% water is too much water. It's like, you know, in the spring when the flowers are growing and the gardens and fields of farms are growing, it's great to have rain, but you don't want rain that pours down for days and washes the plants away. This is Zhao bird. This is too much resource. And so I would call this a fake follow resource. It is, it impedes their ability to succeed as a nation, if you want to call that a nation. I guess it's a nation. As a group of people, they can't succeed with this chart. They're overwhelmed with what is coming over them, which is outside resources, government, outside government. In this instance, I would guess that would be Israel, right? They have both a traditional and a seasonal semi-water trio going on here. And so it's, it's a pattern. Their life pillar is Yang Earth Horse, which gives them that hidden pocket, that hidden power, to, to take action. But the action is a revolution. This is their life pillar. Their life pillar directly speaks of receiving benefit from the Father, which is who birthed them, who created them, who created this situation and put them into this space, or the powers that be. If you don't want to point a finger at anybody, that's fine. But it is a direct retaliation here. And so this is a group of people that are forever in change, forever re-identifying, not even re-identifying, reclaiming their way in the world and taking action to save themselves, taking action to live, and being rebellious and retaliatory. And all of that earth is giving them this again, resources coming in to help them. But also, I'm seeing a lot of nomadic energy, of constant movement, of not being held in one place. And certainly the horse is desperate for freedom. Don't ever hold a horse back. They will rise up. This is like their hidden pocket is, if you hold us back, we will rise up. Can we find a place in this world for these people to live in peace and harmony along with the rest of us? No. So the day leading up to the attack, Yin Fire Rooster feels just like that. It is the rising up. It is the revolution begun, taking, aggressing. And the day of the attack, that hour of the attack, they took on, it's like taking on a new identity. We need to be seen in a different way, because maybe the way we were seen before wasn't effective. We have to change who we are. We have to rise up. And let's take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. In the yoga tradition, we chant Om Triambakam. It's a thousands-year-old prayer for world peace, healing, and protection. I'm going to sing that now for Israel, Palestine, and our world. And if you want to just close your eyes and listen, beam it out to whoever you want to beam it out to. Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanam Rityor Mokshya Mamritat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanam Rityo Mokshya Mamritat Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanam Rityo Mokshya Mamritat Om Shanti 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 Om. Peace. I didn't even get into the personalities and other things with this chart, these charts. I wanted to just kind of give you this overview of what I'm seeing and feeling today, and may peace prevail. Thank you, and be well.